Hello everyone. Welcome. Today, we're going to learn how to add an MTL file in 3ds Max. An MTL file contains material definitions. These definitions tell 3ds Max how your model should look. It describes colors, textures, and other surface properties. So, let's get started. First, open 3ds Max. Now, import your model. Go to File Import. Select your 3D model file. Usually, it's an OBJ or FBX file. Click Open. Adjust the import settings if needed. Now, let's add the MTL file. Most of the time, 3ds Max automatically loads the MTL file if it's in the same folder as your model. It also requires that the MTL file has the same name as your OBJ file. For example, if your model is car.obj, the MTL file should be car.mtl. If it doesn't load automatically, don't worry. There are a few ways to fix this. Method 1 is checking the material editor. Open the material editor. You can usually find it in the top menu bar. If your MTL loaded automatically, the materials should be listed here. Method 2 involves manual loading. If the materials aren't there, we can load them manually. Sometimes the MTL file is automatically loaded but the texture is missing. You may need to manually add the texture. To do that, first open the material editor. Then, create a new material, standard material or physical material, depending on your render engine. Now, add a bitmap texture to the material. Select the texture images associated with your MTL file. Plug the bitmap texture into the appropriate material channel. For example, the diffuse channel for the color texture, the bump channel for the bump map, the specular channel for the specular map. Repeat this process for all textures defined in the MTL file. You can use the Slate Material Editor for a more visual way to connect textures. Method 3 is renaming files. Make sure the MTL file has the exact same name as the OBJ file. Ensure both files are in the same folder. Sometimes 3ds Max is picky about file names. Method 4 involves OBJ import settings. When importing the OBJ file, make sure the materials option is checked in the import dialog. This tells 3ds Max to look for the MTL file. If you have imported the OBJ file and can't find the material in the material editor, you may need to re-import it by checking the option and then replacing the original one. Once your materials are loaded, assign them to your model. Select the object you want to apply the material to. In the material editor, select the material. Click the Assign Material to Selection button. This button looks like a teapot with an arrow pointing to a cube. Now, your model should have the correct materials applied. Adjust the material properties in the material editor for the desired look. Experiment with different settings like glossiness, reflectivity, and bump mapping. Congratulations! You now know how to add an MTL file in 3ds Max. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. Your support helps us create more tutorials. Leave a comment if you have any questions or suggestions for future videos.